Hello again, and welcome to another time-sticking YouTube video. Today we're going to be discussing moon phase dial watches, how they function, a little bit of the history, and how to set them. So stick with us through this intro, and we're going to have a look at these with you. Without sounding too hyperbolic, time immemorial has shown us the sun's rays reflecting off the moon's surface. This has given us different visions of what the moon looks like, and our ancient ancestors used these phases to create days, months, and years. From there, human invention and perseverance brought us to simple, convenient machines that could bring the moon down to our terrestrial realm, mapped and transmitted via industrious mechanisms and radio-controlled signals. But what of these maps and visions in timekeeping? Well, the longest operating astronomical clock was installed in Prague in the year 1410. Being the third oldest of its kind, this horloge still stands as an indication of medieval trends toward tracking extraterrestrial cycles. However, considering that early understanding of the universe included Earth at the center, these old time trackers were pretty problematic. So onward, our best and brightest continue to make new discoveries. Through continued invention, these discoveries have been employed by an array of time-oriented devices, a tradition that has not ceased to this day. After all, it is pretty hard to ignore our closest celestial neighbors. In terms of moon phases, the first personal watches began integrating them into their displays in the late 19th century. Modern wristwatches, as well, continue to capture and illustrate these lunar movements. But why worry about these phases now? How do these watch mechanisms actually work? Well, ahead we're going to explore some more of these questions here in this post. As it stands, most moon dial watches run on a 59-tooth gear that's connected to the rest of the watch movement that ticks one notch every 24 hours. Some high-end brands have more complicated gears with 1 to 200 teeth that require less calibration. The moon phase itself, in terms of mechanical pieces, is difficult to make accurate because it does not follow the easier to exact sexagesimal or fractions of 60 numbers of seconds, minutes, and hours. So the lunar month is shorter than a daily month and requires recalibration about every 2.5 years. As a matter of course, it takes roughly 29.5 days for a new moon to cycle back to itself. On top of this, the full body of the moon goes around the Earth around every 27 days, relative to the position of the stars in the sky. For some more context on the moon dial, the moon is not rotating on its own, it is tidally locked, meaning only one side faces us directly at all times. So spatially, the moon moves around the Earth at an inclined angle, which is why the moon phase takes a bit longer than the actual rotation of the moon's body around Earth's full form. Though gravity does work at the speed of light and we see the light reflected off of its surface, because of the angle at which it's facing the Earth, the moon actually takes longer to go through its light phases that we see than it does to actually rotate around the Earth entirely. Currently, most moon phase wristwatches operate on day-date movements. So, biannual calibration can be a bit tricky. For some aid in setting them, whether you are a new or veteran owner of a moon phase wristwatch, here are some quick steps on setting a moon phase dial. Step 1 is adjusting the moon image to a full moon on the display. This is done by pulling your stem out 2 stops via the crown and rotating the crown and hands clockwise. Step 2 is setting any date on the dial to where the last full moon date was. This might require a little online research to find the exact date, but it will help keep everything calibrated properly as you set the time and date later. The dates are typically set by moving the stem out 1 step and rotating the crown clockwise, though Monday through Sunday settings will require movement of the time hands forward. After following the previous 2 steps, you're going to have to advance the date ahead manually and time to the current date and time. This may take a bit of extended manual labor, but will continue to keep your gears aligned correctly. The final step has something to do with the week of the year hand. Not all moon phase dials have this hand, but it's something to look out for when you're setting the watch. The week of the year will be illustrated by a 4th hand which aligns with notches on the dial. Typically there will be a separate button or presser to adjust this hand. If that's not true, it's important to reference any model-specific literature on setting the moon phase. The week of the year notches will be listed up to the number 52, since there are a little over 52 weeks in a year. The instructions that I just listed for you may have some more nuance depending on the model of the watch that you have, especially if you have a higher end wristwatch. So it's always important to double check any literature that you have that came from the manufacturer, or to contact the manufacturer directly with any specific questions regarding setting a moon phase. Many modern applications of this style of watch relate to Earth's tides, since the moon affects them all year round. These applications include naval navigation and oceanic fishing for both private and commercial purposes. Aside from these practical applications, moon phase dials are small testimonials to the more astronomical aspects of timekeeping's history. So, whether you're admiring an old world clock, have a collectible pocket watch, or even a modern piece, you are taking part in an ancient endeavor. Furthermore, in our digital age, these phases can also be traced by digital timepieces, which will be the most futuristic mode of moon phase tracking on wristwatches. At least until the next innovation in horology comes along and starts a new phase in moon phase dials. Hello, and thanks for watching our YouTube video today. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, and you can find similar videos right here. For more new and interesting content from time sticking on our channel, please subscribe at the link here. And for more information about wristwatch repair and watch maintenance generally, you can find us at timesticking.com. Thanks so much and have a great day.